To wrap up, let me give you an example of each of these 5 types of justification applied to a single claim. Let's take the claim that God exists. This is something that philosophers have often argued about. Let me think of this in terms of each of the 5 types of justification. Can I justify my belief that God exists by a justification by definition? Can I say, this is just what God means? God is defined as an existing being, and therefore my belief that God exists is justified by the meaning of the words. It seems to me this is not going to be a satisfactory definition. One, because it's not obvious that that is in fact what the name God means. And second, because the debate over whether God exists or not is a debate about whether a certain kind of being is real. It's not a debate about the meaning of the words that we use to describe that being. So I don't think we can justify God exists on the basis of definition alone. The second type would be justification by perception. Can I say, my belief that God exists is justified because I somehow perceive God, I see or feel or hear God? That's not going to work if I think of God as having no body, no physical presence. Perhaps I could say that I am aware of the presence of God, I can sense God in some fashion responding to my prayers. But I don't think this is going to work as a justification, precisely because this experience cannot be shared. I'm not going to be able to give a perceptual account of God that other people could have as well. I can't say to someone, if you had been in the same position as I, you would have had the same experiences. So I don't think that's going to work as a full justification for belief in the existence of God. The third type is justification by testimony, and this is going to run into the same type of problem that justification by perception runs into with respect to justifying the claim God exists. If somebody tells me that God exists, I have to justify my trust that she actually knows or is in a position to know, meaning presumably that she's had some kind of experience that justifies her belief that God exists. And I'm back where I was with justification by perception. I haven't really solved my problem. The fourth type is justification by authority, and here I'm on maybe stronger ground. I could say my belief that God exists is justified because some people or persons or institution, the church, the pope, my pastor, scripture, has told me that God exists, and I've satisfied myself that this authority is well-informed and reliable on this topic, and so I accept it. This is okay as a justification for the claim that God exists, but it seems to me it still suffers from this weakness that establishing the reliability and the expertise of the authority, how does one become an authority on the God question, is going to be problematic, is going to be very challenging, especially if I want to justify my belief not just to myself but to other people. So that takes us to the fifth category, justification by reasoning. And this is really where I think we have to look if we're going to justify a claim like God exists. We're going to have to take a hard look at all the evidence around us in the world and conceptually, and taking account of all of this evidence, give an argument or a series of arguments which is going to allow us to conclude that God exists is a true claim about the existence of a being in the universe. In other words, we're going to have to give a philosophical argument in favor of the existence of God. We'll take a look later in the semester at arguments by Thomas Aquinas in favor of the existence of God, and next semester we'll take a look at arguments on a similar topic by the French philosopher Descartes. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.